I'm Bob. I like coffee. I also like to tell stories. So, here at the Bobcast Coffee, it's time for a coffee break. So, take a coffee break with me and pour yourself a cup of your favorite Joe. By the time you're done with your coffee, you'll know something about me you really didn't need to know. But you'll have fun learning it. Just remember, my stories are true. For the most part.
This episode was brought to you by JM Insurance. JM Insurance. Do you have business, personal, or life insurance yet? Contact JM Insurance Agency to understand the benefits of insuring against the unforeseen circumstances of life. We have over 40 years of experience in the business and will guide with the best probable choice for your situation. Call us for more information at 405-353-0140 or visit our website at jminsurance.agency.
Today we're enjoying our coffee.
I'm not.
Not yet. They're pretty empty. These are Geordie Lister cups, and my daughter-in-law, who makes wonderful pottery. We've seen these cups before, but that's okay. So, hang on here 1 second. Always a good thing. Today I have with me in studio John Roper, one of the older surviving friends. It's kind of impressive. And today we're going to do something different. This is going to be episode 50. I did not think we would actually make it this far, but we have.
You thought you'd kill over?
Well, I didn't know if I'd just run out of stories or actually just have too many people complain.
Oh, there we go.
So, yeah. So, complaints are low. Stories are still there. But starting with here on episode 50, from time to time, I'm now going to bring in guest storytellers to tell a story. So, today, we're going to try this out. And our guinea pig is John. John and I, we've known each other since junior high.
At least.
At least. That's a long time for you millennials. That's a long time ago. All right, so John, I'm going to just drop this right in your lap.
Please don't. That's coffee hot.
Coffee is hot. Tell a story. Tell us a story, John.
I'm actually going to tell you two.
This is now scary. Okay.
The first story, you might see that there is a slight resemblance between us.
That's true. My twin.
We don't always see it necessarily, but a lot of people do. And people over the years have got us confused. I think my favorite confused story was when I pulled up into a drive-thru at Taco Mayo.
Taco Mayo on Main Street in Yukon.
Main Street, Taco Mayo. And we were in high school. And I pulled up to the drive-thru and made my order. And the girl that I didn't know in the drive-thru windows said, "Hi, Bob, this will be..." She gave me the amount. And I said, "Actually, I'm not Bob. I'm John." And she said, "Come on, Bob. Stop kidding around." I'm like, "No, really, my name is John. I'm not Bob. People confuse us, but I'm John." She said, "Would you just stop? Would you just stop? Come on, you're always joking around, Bob." I said, "Look, I can prove it." And so I got out my wallet and I showed her my driver's license. And she looked at it and she handed it back to me. She said, "Where'd you get the fake ID?"
All right, I have to admit right now, one, this is the type of joke that I would have played on my friends. And two, I was known for making a few fake IDs in my day.
But this girl was convinced. There was no convincing her that I was not you. So, yeah.
You should have taken that and run with it.
I could have.
Yeah.
I could have. Think of the things that I could have said. The trouble that I could have made. But, too close a friend to do that.
Well, you're a good guy, and I appreciate that.
But speaking of close friends, I want to share a story of what close friends sometimes do to each other. And
wait a minute, I'm going to need more for this. All right.
You might need something stronger. and the fact that, being that we retain our friendship afterwards is amazing from one of these things.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right.
Back in college,
All right.
one of our mutual friends was my roommate, Mike Greason. And Mike and Bob and I and some others were a member of a group in high school called the Obnoxious Brothers. I'm not sure how we came up with that name, but you can just figure it out.
Well,
but anyway.
Well, we did pep rallies.
We did pep rallies. We did other
like
kinds
that,
of
yeah.
things, wrote skits, etc. But anyway, Mike and I somehow ended up as roommates, and you were at another college?
East Central University.
East Central University.
Yeah.
So we were at Central State University in Oklahoma, which is now the University of Central Oklahoma. We were in the dorm. And Mike, as was his wont, was out for the evening. Okay, he does that a lot, so I didn't think anything of it. Except there was a knock on the door really early in the morning or late at night.
Yeah, let's call this two-ish.
Two-ish, and I open the door, and what greets me are two guys in combat gear, full camo and everything else. One with a rifle, one with a handgun, blackface, pointed at me with their guns. I decided to try to close the door, but they were having none of it, and so they kicked the door open and came in and terrorized me briefly until I figured out who they were. And that was that. Now Bob, of course, this was not something that he was going to stop. It wasn't just, hey, let's scare our friend. Instead, let's scare total strangers. And so Bob, we were up on the second floor, and so Bob decided to, if I remember right, you went out on the ledge, and you took the rifle, and there was a guy named Henry who was sleeping across the hall. You'd forgotten about this one, hadn't you?
Totally forgot about this.
And so we had those kind of dorm room windows that, went like this, and you decided that you were going to take the rifle and stick in his face, if I remember right. I'm surprised that Henry didn't, or was he even home? Do you remember?
What I did is I went to tap him with the rifle. So I got my arms in with the rifle, and I'm trying to tap him in the face and he is just like that far out of my reach. I cannot do this without dropping the
rifle.
Weapon. So just by sheer luck and the fact that he sleeps on the far side of the bed from the wall,
he didn't get it. Okay.
Yeah.
But you tried.
I tried.
Missed it by that much.
Well,
and anybody walking by would have seen my rear end up in the air with me trying
with the rifle, trying to get him in the face. Yeah.
Wait, let's clear this out. It's not a real rifle. Today, in today's society, police would have shot me dead. This is not something that you do today.
Don't try this at home, kids.
Don't try. I've said that more than once on these podcasts. It was a rubber M16. It's a training M16. So if you really look at it, if I held it to you, right up here right now, you would have looked at it and gone, wow, that's
at 2
not
o'clock
real.
in the morning, I am not paying any attention to whether the rifle that is pointed at me is real or not.
Yeah. We were pretty crazy. It was actually my brother that started this. Because he's the one that actually had checked out this weapon. It was a rubber 45 and a rubber AR-15, and he was drawing posters for ROTC department.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's not what I thought of when I saw them.
Of course
So
not.
we were in Ada, so that's a 2-hour drive to come up here just to prank you.
But it wasn't just me you were trying to prank.
Well, it was just you. Anything else that happened
Was
that
collateral
night
damage.
was just collateral damage.
Okay, gotcha. So they came to prank me.
Yeah.
And you tried to prank Henry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And since that didn't work, you tried to find another victim.
Yes, we did.
And so you went, the whole I'm this military guy kind of guy, down the hall, and I'm watching you do this, and you enter the bathroom, the public bathroom on the men's floor. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
And you come in there, and there is a young man who had fallen asleep on the toilet.
You know,
You don't remember this.
I am. It now is flooding back like crazy.
Yes.
Holy Toledo! What a beautiful opportunity.
It was an interesting opportunity. Ironically, this guy later became my roommate. But you come in, and Paul is sitting on the toilet, and he's fallen asleep. And you kick the stall door open and point the gun in his face. I'm not sure what happened bodily with him at that moment.
Well,
And then as he blinked and looked at the gun, you went and left.
and left. And just
And left. And then later on, I heard that you decided to continue your terrorism.
Terrorism.
That's not
no
terrorism,
no,
folks.
No.
Terrorizing.
It was terrorism.
Okay.
Just redneck version.
Redneck version
Yeah,
of it,
in the
you know.
80s. Yeah.
And we had a friend who lived in the area named Ginger, and you decided to go scare her.
We were going to do that.
But how you did this is you decided that you were going to go the full on reconnaissance and sneak up on her, and you parked down the street like a few blocks away, I guess, from where
Probably a block.
a block. Okay. And then you decided to do the whole, with the gun and everything, and sneak up on her. And I think
I like
you got
the way
about-
you do that.
Yeah, well, you should have seen yourself at the time. You were and you sneak up about halfway there, if I remember right, when the local dogs get wind of you.
Yeah.
And they started going crazy. All the lights began to come in the neighborhood, etc. And you decided that it was a good time
To leave
to
town.
To leave town.
Yes.
And I understand that there were other adventures after that, but that's your story. This is where
This was all up in
Edmond.
Oh yeah, Edmond.
Edmond.
Yeah, this is all up in Edmond. So we went to other places, other stories that will happen.
Yeah, and interesting enough, this story, these adventures have entertained people globally, because I told my students in Africa, in when I was living in Cote d'Ivoire, I told this story.
Yeah.
I told students in Senegal, West Africa, when I was teaching them. I told this story in Japan. I told this story in Camp Verde, Arizona. I told this story in lots of different places, Bob, and they all were highly interested in this. And in fact, they would oftentimes beg me. They would say, "Mr. Roper, can we hear another Bob story?" So, your infamy, your fame or infamy, however you want to, survived for years.
What did you ever tell? And we're not going to get into these extra stories, but did you ever tell stories of the pep rally skits?
Oh, sure.
and
How you
stuff like
almost
that?
drowned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I was the one that I really feel bad about. It's the drowning story, but it's the beginning of the drowning story where you got pelted
Yes.
with the footballs, the
Yes.
baseballs, the basketballs.
Yes.
These,
Because I was supposedly the bad guy
Yep.
in all of this, and so I'm getting nailed by all of these, and you merely drowned.
all right, so
but
the whole story of the drowning, we'll tell that story in another time.
that's fine.
But I can't believe all the stuff that we've survived.
It is amazing. We were even. Do you remember we were even written up in the paper? The Obnoxious
That's
Brothers.
right, the Obnoxious Brothers skits.
Yeah. Good days.
Good days that we lived through.
That somehow we lived through.
Well, John, thank you for being guest speaker number 1.
You're more than welcome, my friend.
And you'll have to come back. Because I would like to hear more stories of you telling stories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that intrigues me greatly. Until next time, drink your coffee. Go back to work.